Yep.
Oh,
Cool. So,
I'm Fran. Nice to meet you.
my name is Nelson. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So now we got to figure out a topic.
Okay, well, I'll let you start. So I went to Egypt, and I went to Greece. So the Greece was it was like a yoga retreat.
Okay.
So yeah, I just wanted to do something like holistic and like health, wellness included, and I've never been to anything like this before, so that was really nice. It was really peaceful. I didn't use my phone. It was kind of like juices and smoothies and yoga, which was like, it's not really the holidays I've been on before in my life. But I enjoyed it. It was very peaceful. It was kind of like what you need to just unwind and stuff. And then I went to Egypt, and that was just beautiful. I really love Egypt, and there is a lot of negative press about it, and the country has had such a bad run with everything that's happened, like over, I don't know if you know, but like just the last like 12 years there was like the revolution, and then obviously a huge thing in politics with the president, and then you had like the shark attacks, you had the plane that went down, the Russian plane, and they've just had such bad negative press that when it's crazy, because when you go there, like I've personally never been, there's not a country I've been to that I'd say is more beautiful than Egypt. And I've been to like Mexico, I've been to the Caribbean, like they are all beautiful, but there's just something personally that I love about Egypt. And you know, they've got the land and the facilities, and they've got the sunshine and the beautiful like Red Sea. So it feels like, I feel it's such a shame for them as a country and for their economy not to rise from tourism, because they have all the basics to flourish and to be so successful, and they do need it, because like, I don't know, it just got me thinking, like if this was Spain, like there's not a beach in Spain that looks like this beach I went to, but literally like you can't even get like a coffee or like a soft drink there, because there's not enough people to go. Like it would be senseless for someone to open up a small business when they'll get like 3 customers a day. Like there's not a demand for it. But it's crazy. Like I swear this beach looks like, have you heard of Split in Croatia?
No.
So it's a very famous like tourist destination, and
You can put up.
And it's like, it's basically, this place that I went to is identical to that, but better.
Okay.
And it looks like the Maldives. Like I've never been to the Maldives, but that kind of untouched white sand, like
you can
mad.
see straight through the water.
Yeah, mad. Like I was just so much like, why is this all this untouched like natural beauty, like just, and then that's kind of ironic, because if loads of tourists come in, it's not going to be natural and untouched, is it?
Yeah.
But it's just like they're sitting on a gold mine, but they just aren't making any money from it. And just from a perspective of like them kind of needing tourism to help grow the economy, I was just thinking like, you know, why isn't it? But anyway, it's so beautiful.
Like
oh yeah. So is it Split? Go to like famous beach in Split. It's almost got like a sand dune in the middle of the beach, like, you know, it's got water and then sand right in the middle, and it looks crazy, like that one there.
This one there?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it's like, you know, just like obviously, because that's like natural, like to have like a huge stretch of sand where you can just chill and then have like that water around it. It's like, it's very famous, and they probably make so much money from it.
Place in Egypt, what's it called?
Yeah, it's called oh crap. If you put the lagoon in I hope it looks good and vicious now. The lagoon in Dahab, Dahab, Egypt.
So your experience in Egypt is interesting, because obviously no one comes back from Egypt and says it's not beautiful.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have negative experiences there, especially women.
Yeah.
Whereas you've had some, you say, like obviously there's no coffee shop, but nothing necessarily that is a bad experience that you tell people not to come. which is
Yeah.
probably the first person that has I've known
Really?
that's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I'm not surprised.
So would you say even with everything it is, it's still a country that people should visit? Or do you
Like-
think the negative experiences outweigh the positive reasons to go there?
That's actually a really good question, because do you know, this is how I'll answer it. I'll just start off by saying is that it all depends on like people as individuals. Like we all have different standards and things we like and things we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Things that we would think is negative and things we think is positive, and it depends what outweighs what based on that. Like it was so interesting. I'll tell you about the airport experience afterwards, but for me, like the positive in Egypt, it overshadows, like I don't even see the negative. Like if I was forced to say something negative, I'd feel like I'll just say it because I have to. Like it's not that I'm not aware of, you know, you go to Egypt like and you're a Londoner and you're like not modern but like British or whatever, regardless of whether you've grown up here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to a country, like people don't see it, they're just going for a good holiday, right? But the people there, like they literally earn, like the staff that work in the hotels and the government staff and everyone that gets paid in that country, they earn like 200 to 300 pounds a month. That is the maximum. Like there's not a facility to work harder and to earn more. Like that's it. The government just wants to keep them earning that amount.
Yeah.
And unless you're born into money, there's not a way to progress. You go to school, and it depends on what jobs are outside of tourism and working for the government. But in Sharm el Sheikh and a lot of the holiday destinations, you'll work 30 days, like you won't have a day off. So you work 7 days a week, usually like 7 to 7, like 12 hours. And like the standards of living are quite poor.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, like, obviously that's terrible for Egypt as for their people, but if you're thinking of it from a tourist perspective, people that are coming on holiday want impeccable, outstanding service. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
if you're working like that and you're treated like that and you don't even feel human, like it's very hard to then do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like, well, from the negative experiences that I've heard, haven't
Yeah.
necessarily been with the standard of like the people that work there.
Okay.
It's more so been people trying to scam a lot, for example.
Okay.
Like, so you said you were going to talk about the airport experience after.
Yeah.
What I've heard a lot is that even police officials and government officials, they try to tell you about some sort of like electronics license or something like that.
About what?
And then electronics license.
What, to try and get money from you?
Yeah.
No, I've not heard of that, but what do you
Okay.
mean? Like
So, okay.
something that you need and then they try and
Yeah,
charge you for it?
Yeah. So obviously, this is not my personal experience.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's actually necessarily true or not. But from what I've heard is that they will try and convince you that you need a license to use like electronics, like your phones and stuff like that, which apparently isn't actually a law. And they'll try and charge you for it at the airport. And
Oh
then,
my God, I've not heard of this.
Yeah. And then people will try and run that multiple times. So like the police will say, they'll sell it to you. And they're like, actually, no, this is the wrong one. You need to buy this one. And then you leave the airport and then you get into the city and then police there will say, oh no, actually, this is the wrong one. You need to get this one,
Oh
and try
my
and charge you
God.
again. So, and I've heard things about like, for example, where there's kids trying to get you to convince you to use the camels on rides.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
try and convince you it's for free. But then when you do it, they try and charge you.
Yeah.
Apparently, tourists even get attacked by the camels if you say no. Yeah.
Well, like they get the camels to
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Obviously,
Not to charge on you. Oh, I wouldn't like that. I heard a camel. I don't like
yeah.
camels
Just
anyway.
imagine like you're trying to walk about your day and a camel just headbutts
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no, that was not my experience, but I
Yeah,
I
okay.
understand what you're saying.
So I'm starting to think these are true then maybe, because there was another person I know that's gone there and she had bad experiences as well,
Yeah.
but not necessarily in the scamming
Okay.
department.
What were they?
Just weird guys.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? Okay, do you know what? I'm going to try and not be biased because obviously I love it, and I've been on holidays where I haven't loved the place, and it could be because of the people or not feeling safe or whatever. But for some reason, I've never felt that way in Egypt, apart from maybe the first time I went. But I was 18, so I was very hypersensitive and kind of inexperienced in life. So I was kind of vulnerable. And obviously, you don't want to go somewhere where the men can be a bit weird, and you're in a foreign country. You're more susceptible to kind of influence or like negativity, like. But the thing is that it is obviously a Muslim country. That's like first and foremost. It's also a country, like a part of Egypt that has been created just like Dubai. It was literally just desert. And what they did is they turned it into a tourist destination because of the Red Sea and the beach. So it's a lot of it is run down. A lot of it is just mountains and desert where the hotels aren't built and where the restaurants and bars aren't. It's like, and you've got people that come from different parts of Egypt, obviously, to work. So it's usually Cairo or like different villages. So, you know, the people that are working there, obviously English isn't their first language. And also they are usually married by the age of like, 22, 23, maybe a bit older. And usually they're required, the men can marry whoever they want, providing that the woman, they can marry a Catholic that will then convert, but the women can't. So it tends to just be like they get married quite young and they have kids. So you've got like men that are moving to a different world where they've got international women, and I'm not justifying it, I'm not saying, but I'm just kind of, I always try and look at a situation and think, okay, well, why is it this way, rather than just like pointing a finger and saying like, anyway, like they're, and I don't know, it's kind of like, imagine if you're like you've lived in kind of a very strict religious upbringing, or like a convent even, and then you go out and you actually see like women and like drinking and clubbing and like a sense of freedom. It is wild. And it's not, tourists shouldn't have to be at the, like, foreign people shouldn't have to come to a country and be at the receiving end of like everyone's like eagerness to see women's legs or whatever. Like, that's not fair. But you are going, I don't know.
You need to understand where you're going, like the environment that you're going to. But
the one thing I will say is that I have never felt unsafe. Like and this comes down, like, I never like walking down Edgware Road, for example, in this country. It's the one place I don't feel the most comfortable walking down. I just know I'm going to get stared at. Like, I would never go in shorts. Like, I just know I'm going to get unwarranted attention. And it's going to be from old men. And it just doesn't make me feel comfortable. And when I put that into Egypt, I can maybe have an understanding of why people wouldn't want that. But from my experience, it's some places that you go, like in the hotels, I've never been treated with so much respect by the men, and it's only men working there. You know, I feel like what you give off is what you get back. You know, if you treat yourself with respect and, you know, you handle yourself in a way, it's just letting people know your boundaries. Like, I get cabs there on my own. Like, I've walked up and down. I've gone diving with people. And, you know, and just from my personal experience, like, you know, there have been people that have tried to maybe, like, approach you. Like, I even had someone come up to me and, like, I thought he was asking for directions on the holiday. And he came up to me and he, like, gave me his phone. And I was concerned. I thought he was lost and he didn't know where he was going. So I was like, oh, like, let me show you. Like, I wasn't, like, hesitant or scared or anything. And literally on the phone, he put it into Translate and it said, I really like you. When can I see you or meet you? ? And I'm not going to lie. I was like, I mean, it was just the strangest thing, because I was just like, I didn't even look at you. Like, it's just weird and it's unsettling as a woman. I just thought, I mean, whatever, like, you're going to try and good for you and no, bye. Like, I'm not going to let that ruin.
So, I think we need to reroll them. It's about to reach 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. How old are you, Michael? 25. Okay, I'm with all the young people. 22 and 25. Oh, my God. That's deep. 32. Yeah, but 25 and 22, like, you got your whole lives, man.
So is
Why are you working? Like, you know what? When people say that, like, I swear, it's never patronising. Like, I still feel young. Like, I still live my life, go on holiday. Like, I actually feel like I'm still in my 20s. Like, I don't feel 30 at all. But like, I don't know, when I almost got to my 30th birthday, I literally hit depression. I was like, 30, oh my God.
I feel like it's different for women.
Yeah.
Like, literally feel like 30 and like I need to do everything now.
Yeah.
I think so. It's different for women.
Yeah, defo. Yeah, that's true, man. You men, you got it easy. What's Andrew Tate got to say about that? But yeah, it's like, I don't know, when I hear like 25, I'm just like, but at 25, like, I was probably moving like an 18-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was weird. Like, it's only when I got older did I actually feel like I actually saw. Like, now I'm so happy the age I'm at. Like, and I'm not just saying it like to justify it or say I'm happy at 32, but like, I literally feel like I'm at the best stage of my life. But it's just like, obviously you got a clock ticking, and you got to do certain things by certain ages. But I'm just trying not to let that bother me, because what happens. Like, but yeah, 22, man. Go on holiday. Stop working. No, but I guess that's how you get set up. And you.
As I said, it's different for women. I feel like as a woman, like, it's easier to go on holiday at that age. Like, it's easier to not think about like work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're a woman, innit? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
this guy that would like pay for your stuff, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different like.
Yeah, for guys, 20s is kind of
Make
the
it all.
years that you set up yourself for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good to
And
hear.
Obviously, depending on what direction you want as a man or a woman,
Yeah.
it depends on what you have to do. But I feel like girls do have the option to party through their 20s
Yeah.
without as much consequence in
Yeah.
terms of like financially and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure actually on you guys actually, so maybe good old take to right. But sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Whereas guys, obviously, if you go through your 20s, all of your 20s not doing anything, not studying, not working, not just partying, what do you do when you're 30?
Yeah.
Obviously, not to say that you can't build something from then,
Yeah.
but you would be starting from scratch.
Yeah, I've never really thought of it in that way. But you can still have like fun, but you just gotta have your
100%.
head in a
Yeah.
place where you know what you want. But that, even regardless of whether, like, it's just mentality, I think, regardless of women or men. Like, it's so good to hear. God, I sound like such a granny saying this. Do you know what I mean? Like, this generation and blah blah blah. But it's like.
But I think it's always been like that. I think if now anything, it's the most lenient, because I feel like you can get away with it if you. It is a bit of luck, but let's be honest, a lot of people can party into the 25.
Yeah.
And then make a video, post a TikTok, and just
that's
their
so
life
bad,
changes.
isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas I think maybe 10, 30, 20 years ago,
as
a guy, if you did not work, there was nothing.
Yeah,
you were
nothing available.
useless,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, it is like, God, it's so bad. I've never really sat down and spoke to two men about this. Do you know what I mean? Like, in depth. Like, I've got like a few male friends, but it's when you think of it, and even at a different age, like when you think of it as the pressures, like, and kind of what you need to set up, like, it is like, I think now that the focus and the focus, I'm not a structured person actually in my personal life. Like, I've never have been, because I'm quite impulsive, I'm quite like spontaneous, I like to just do things and go, like, that's just my nature, right? But in order to have success and in order to do things, like, it's nice in my social life, it's fun and free and whatever, but you know, to be successful and to set things up, like, you need structure, like discipline, all those things. And like, I feel like you have fun comes naturally, but the other structure doesn't. It's something you have to work hard to do. But do you disagree?
I mean, no. For me personally, I would agree. I do think there's some people that are different as well, though.
Yeah.
I think some people, the structure comes naturally and they struggle to have fun.
Yeah, do you know what? I read this I went to this thing the other day. What was it? I can't remember. I go to so many things, but it was basically saying like they spoke to like 92-year-olds, and then they asked 92-year-olds like, what was, if you could go back, what was like the one thing you regret, or like the top 5 things. And the first one was they wish that they worked less and had a little bit more time to do the things that they wanted. And another one was that they wish they did more of what they wanted to do instead of what other people expected of them. And out of the room they were asked like, you know, what would, if they were more, I can't remember the word now, but it was about that kind of structure, like whether they were more, can't remember, like spontaneous or unspontaneous. And like 90% of them, it was something crazy, like they said that they always lived for like reliability and predictability and safety, and they struggled with the free kind of fun element. And I kind of thought like it was whether they were a risk taker or not or something. And I think a lot of people are like, or people are different, but you can kind of have that safety, structure, monotony, like, you know, people don't like to go outside their comfort zone.
Yeah. I think as well, because if they're 90 when they were,
Yeah,
I don't think they had much of an option when they were young as well.
Yeah.
I feel like in their time growing up, there wasn't really a thing where, oh, I got such a box freedom. I think like everyone was basically just, yeah, you have to work. Kind of. Obviously, unless you were grown into
like
a certain family or
Yeah.
money, yeah. I feel like everyone was in their roles, and I mean, I don't know how life was back then, but from what it seems, I feel like you have more freedom now, and you can make that option where you kind of can take those risks and go a different path other than just working from a young age and university and blah 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 and things like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like for those 90-year-olds, I think that's literally what they had to do.
God, I'm surprised they remember all that so long ago. But yeah, no, you're right though. It's like there is. It's sometimes hard, like when you're wired a certain way. I'm trying to learn this more. Is like just trying to remember that other people are not necessarily like you. Like we're all like made up so differently.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I want to go back to what you're saying about like setting yourself up and like being a man. So like, would you say like all your friends or like your social group or people in your age group, would you say that the priority is to kind of set up or work, achieve, like?
I think there's the pressure for it.
Yeah.
But I want to say everyone's is, because like I said, you do have the more option now. So there is some people that kind of just live their life. But I think it's something important you have to have in your mind.
Yeah.
And I feel like obviously growing up as well, where like it's South London, stuff like that. Not everyone really knows about that you have to work and the consequences.
Yeah.
So they might not have the mindset now, but they might regret in the future.
When the consequences hit them.
Yeah, exactly.
When maybe not too late, but later on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's a bit 50-50.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ones that don't have that mindset,
Yeah.
I do worry for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they can just enjoy their life because you never know nowadays.
Yeah. Do you know what I've always thought, right, is like all this preparation for the future that's kind of not guaranteed. Like, not to be negative or pessimistic or anything, but it's like the one thing I'll say from just going, and it's just a holiday, right? But, you know, just because I'm a bit older, like I didn't just take it as like a break from life. Like I took it as like, you know, seeing a completely different world and how people function and what is a priority. Like the more that I am in London and the more that I see my life and every day, like public transport and bills and the news and what you do in your free time, it's like I just had to take a think about, you know, setting up, like what do I want to set up like, do I want to set up something here
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, and live my future here with like the house and the kids and, you know, like financial, maybe more security? Or do I want something a little bit more simple where I'm still setting something up, but it allows me to work abroad and it allows me to have like a quality of life that for me is maybe not like a modern view or like a world view of what everyone else wants, but just trying to think about what works for me, because ultimately it's me that's going to be living with my decisions, do you know what I mean, or my family's decisions. So yeah, I was just thinking about that and thinking like, yeah, I need to crunch time, like figure out this year what I'm going to do, because like I think for a man, like it's so interesting when he just said that, you know, like women can get men to like buy stuff, like, by the way, don't say that on a podcast.
Okay.
I can't say it, but especially like nowadays, like it's a completely different like ball game.
Yeah.
And everyone has contact with some people in the world. So
Yeah.
I think what Mike said isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
As in, because obviously people will be like, oh, what did he say? But yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you his social media afterwards and a picture and his address.
But the thing is, you have to be mindful that girls do have that option.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether they want to take it or not.
Yeah.
They have an option that as a man you don't really have.
Yeah.
And it's
God,
not to
I've
say...
never thought about this. Let's just talk about this all day.
And I'm not here to say like, oh, women have it easy or men have it easy. I think if women want to, they have it easier. But at the same time, I think if a woman has a certain lifestyle in mind, I think that is harder. So I think...
For the woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think as a man, if you want to build something, if you want to build a career, if you want to do this and that, I think it's easier for you than it is for a woman. But if a woman wants an easy life where she gets everything paid for and stuff like that, she has that option whereas a man doesn't.
Yeah. God, but would a man really want that though if he did have the option?
I'm not
Like,
sure
would
there's
you
some
like
men
to
that
be?
would take it.
Would you like to have a sugar mama?
I swear we've had this conversation before.
Like if maybe like 10 of your friends had one, yeah, and it was like norm, like you weren't going to be singled out or like the odd one out, like would you, like as how your makeup of your mind is, like...
So when we say sugar mama, what's the terms and conditions?
So okay, so let's just switch it round. So like a woman, if she wants like she has a lifestyle in mind, like you said, like handbags and Dubai and just expensive, lavish, luxury dinners and that kind of life. I think we know what kind of person wants this or what she demands or expects. But like, say you flip that and like, you're the man that has like a really rich, successful woman that you're with and she can take you out for dinners and buy you all your nice clothes and finance a luxury lifestyle for you. Like, how would that be for you? Like,
so,
would you? And you can answer afterwards.
So first off, I'll start by saying from when you grow up, as a woman, you're taught to value certain things, and as a man, you value different things.
Yeah.
So, for example, obviously, being paid for stuff is always nice for anyone, regardless of gender, and being with someone that's super rich, if you're not, I'm sure it comes with a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
But growing up as a man, you're not necessarily taught to value a woman based off of her career achievements.
Yeah.
So you might just value someone based off of like how they can hold down a household.
Yeah.
And how, for example, how attractive they are, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas a woman, they probably care a bit less about how attractive the man is, and more so about...
You should be a life coach. This is good.
And more so about the stability and the financial freedom that he can bring. So as a guy, if there's an old lady that wants to pay for your stuff.
No, she's not old. This woman's like really, like a decent age.
Okay.
And yeah, but anyway, carry on.
Okay. And let's say it's not always the case, but let's say she's not particularly attractive.
Yeah.
As a woman, you'd care less about that because you're not taught to care so much about physical attraction.
So you think men are kind of instilled in
We're
them great
wired to not
to more go on looks, did you say?
looks and well, in this case, it would just be the looks because you're not really in a sugar mama. You're not really looking for how well she can take care of your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, so in this specific example. I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. I'm getting there. So I before I answer, I think that's an important thing to like acknowledge. I know you're on me. You're on me. But yeah. So
Sorry, you don't have to get us off.
See, normally I come off on myself out of situations, but he knows me too well.
Okay,
If he wasn't here, you wouldn't even realise I didn't answer.
No, I was kind of thinking like when.
Okay, cool. So is the sugar mama? Yeah. Are we saying like she's not particularly attractive, or like do I have to do something with them?
Yeah. Yeah, there might be some sugar included. But this isn't necessarily... No, what I mean is that... Because that's like assuming that like every girl that gets with like a rich guy, he might be unattractive or old. Like
but
she's not necessarily
That
unattractive
is something that I wanted to bring up as well before Mike rudely interrupted me. Is that as a woman, obviously you mentioned up the sugar mama, the sugar daddy stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not the only option.
Yeah.
For example, as a girl, you could go... If you're someone that likes to have fun, for example.
Yeah.
Let's say me and Mike wanted to go clubbing.
Yeah.
And that's how we had fun.
Yeah.
We'd have to have money. We'd have to have money to for the drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas a girl, you can leave your house with no money.
Yeah.
And still drink as much as you want, and sometimes even come home with money.
Yeah. God.
So, or like, you might not even have a sugar daddy specifically, but you might get stuff paid for just by random people.
That's like the accessibility of money.
You don't have to earn money to do the things that you like to do.
Yeah.
And obviously that's on men as well, because we're the ones paying for it.
Yeah.
But you have that option, and you have to be mindful that you have that option, whereas sometimes men don't.
Yeah.
So, would I like to have the option? Yeah, of course. Would I want a sugar mommy? Necessarily? I don't know if I do.
Yeah. No, but it's yes or no answer on this podcast.
Okay, how rich is the sugar mama?
Like nothing's off limits.
Yeah.
So you.
Yeah, probably.
So we got someone selling their soul for money here on the podcast.
It's not my soul, it's just my body. Huh? Yeah, we gotta cut that one out. You're gone? Yeah, it's your turn now.
Oh yeah, it's your turn now.
So before he answers,
We can cut this.
Michael Bakari.
So let's say she's not your type. She's not ugly. She's okay, right? You wouldn't look at her twice if you were like at a party or on the street or something, but you'll never love her basically. Like there's not that included. Like you could feel like okay around her.
Can you have relationships outside it?
God, we're really getting into it now. Can you have relationships outside of it? I hate this question. Yeah, I guess. I mean, she's not like locking you in anywhere.
No, it wasn't a question originally, but obviously you said you will never love them. So
yeah,
that's why I was thinking. Because
well, I mean, you could grow to. I guess people are different. Yeah.
Would you be alright if your man had a sugar mom and he was with you?
Oh, can I be honest with you? And with me?
Yeah, he's with you. Like he wanted to be with you, but he said I got a sugar mom. Well, obviously he would spend the money on you.
I'll be honest with you. If I met someone who had ever had a sugar mama, I would never be able to be with them. I'm so serious about it. Like no offense, but obviously, like it's just my personal thing. Is like Like I could never have a sugar daddy in my life. I would feel physically sick. Like even one bad, like I don't really. Okay, let me just put a way to say this. Like for me, it would be great, and like you said, the benefits would be amazing. But that feeling, because I think I'm sensitive and quite like in touch with my emotions, I would just feel like I like sold my soul. Like I would just feel like I just owe this. I'd feel like a transaction to them, especially because I'm a woman though. Like I'd feel like, do I have to be with you? Like I would. The bags ain't worth that.
That's why it's like I think it's a bit different. Cause
yeah, for a man,
for a
I mean,
guy,
yeah,
because the option's not really there. I don't want to take it just because of that.
Yeah.
Like, so what is this like? What is this like? It's more of a that thing. But I guess the girl could say the same thing. She might just be curious about what it's like.
Yeah, like it must be nice to be taken out for like big, or imagine going on a yacht and you've never been on a yacht before. Like we're talking like money, and who doesn't like every time you see a Ferrari go down the street, like everyone's got the same feeling. Everyone wants to be in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. There's not one person, like you might not look or take a photo, but it's one of the fastest cars. It looks good. You're gonna feel good when you're in it. Like that's once you admit that one thing, then you can understand why people have sugar mamas or sugar daddies or whatever. But it's like, and that's it. No matter where you are, who you are, like everyone wants to be in that car.
Yeah,
but
now, I think for me, my answer was like, if we're talking in an extreme, like, because I'm sticking with my answer. I'm just being specific. Like, you're saying you'd never have to worry about anything again. Then yeah, I'd probably go for it. But like, let's say for example, if it's just someone that's buying like materialistic things and blah blah blah, and just like, PS5. And just, like,
I mean, you've got, and I think it's
car.
different for a man because like you don't like. If I had like sugar daddy, like it'd be that I'm with him, right? So it just means that like I'm choosing this over something else. So it's like I couldn't really find the love of my life if I've got this commitment to this thing. And what if I switched off? That I'm not committed to him. I'm just taking stuff from him, and then then it just means that I'm being untruthful or unfair to. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, for a woman, I think it's just a lot. Like if I met someone who was like great and successful and rich and I loved him, like that's just a bonus. But I wouldn't ever compromise on spending time or wasting time with somebody that could give me stuff, because I feel like it would take me further away from who I am. Do you know what I mean? And funny, luckily for me, when I was younger, like, not that I didn't have access, but I always I was very like, you go to clubs and stuff, and like, I swear to God, I wouldn't let someone buy me a drink. Like, even when I was like 18, I used to go clubbing pretty much every weekend. It was like, I felt uncomfortable because I thought, if I accept your drink, like, what do you expect? Like, it was I don't know what was in my mentality, because I know a lot of people aren't like that, but I quite personally felt like, no, I don't know what you're going to try.
Yeah, no,
like,
I think that's an important way to look at it as well.
I don't want to be yours, like, just because you bought me a drink and I don't know you, so you might be a bit weird afterwards.
Obviously, no one has the right to anything from just buying a drink. But I think for girls, obviously, you need to be mindful of what comes with that drink. Like, you'll accept the drink and it's not right for them to expect anything, but some people will. And I think it's important to keep yourself out of those dangerous situations.
100%.